Welcome back to the IBJJF podcast. My guests today are Lucas Valente and Andressa Cintra. Lucas is a world no-gi champion and a Brasileiro champion. Andressa is a 4-time world champion in the gi, 2-time world no-gi champion, pan champion, and Brasileiro champion. I'm surprised I remembered all that. Thank you guys for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you guys are coming off amazing performances at the 2023 Worlds No-Gi in Vegas. Both won gold in your divisions. Awesome performances from both of you. Andressa, you had 2 fights, 2 submissions. Lucas, 5 fights, 3 submissions. Lucas, I wanted to start with you because you were intending to compete at the 2022 Worlds No-Gi, had some issues. You had to be back in Brazil at that time. So why don't you tell people about your story and how you got to the 2023 Worlds No-Gi?
Man, thanks so much, Danny, for having us. It's so it was a very, very challenging year for me because as I was getting ready last year uh, for this tournament, I received a call from my mom in the middle of the preparation, and I remember it was a Tuesday night, and my mom called me. Actually, my mom and my aunt, they called me and said that I would have to go to Brazil immediately overnight because my dad was in the hospital. You know, he had cancer and he got a hospital infection, and the doctor was saying that he wouldn't make it through the night. So what I did, I I committed on competing at Worlds No Gi, right? And so what I did was I bought my ticket and I pray a lot. You know, I talk to God a lot, and I would be leaving in around 6 hours to Brazil, me and my brother. So what I did was I was like, man, my dad is unconscious right now, and I can't talk to him. There's nothing I can do um, until I'm in Brazil. So what I did was I did everything I could. I packed, and then I went to the gym. I did the competition nogi class, and it was extremely hard because obviously my mind was, like insanely worried about everything. But I had faith, like somehow deep, I knew that my dad would be fine. So and my dad is always proud of my commitment and my discipline. So I was like, man, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Then I'm gonna go to Brazil. So then I went to Brazil. Then thanks God I got there, and basically a miracle happened. And my dad made through the night. I talked to him, and he had like an insane improvement overnight. After me and my brother talked to him, he was unconscious, but the doctor told us to talk to him, and we did, and he had like a huge improvement. The doctor said it was a miracle. And he just kept improving, but he was still unconscious, and with risk of dying, really high risk still. But then we were there, and I was in my hometown in BH, but I was still committed on competing, and I was sleeping. I was sleeping in the hospital every single day with my dad and training 3 times a day. So I was going hospital gym, and I was on diet. I was cutting weight, so it was very, very challenging. And I was still, committed on coming and competing because I was hoping that my dad would be better by the time. That was around mid-November. And I kept training really hard on diet and taking care of my dad. And fast forwarding it was a Thursday, and the tournament would be Saturday and Sunday. And until Thursday, I wasn't sure if I was gonna travel or not, because I was waiting until last minute for the doctor to clear my dad to go home. And but by Thursday night, and that would be like the time limit for me being able to get a last minute flight, fly to California and go straight from the airport to the tournament, correct? And then Thursday night, the doctor didn't give me any news, so I made the decision of not going. So I stayed with my dad. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. was staying with him, taking care of him. And so I had to coach Andressa through FaceTime. You know, I was sitting on a hostel chair on her final. I was coaching her through FaceTime, and it was very very challenging. And the whole year, thanks God, my dad's alive. We went through the whole process for my dad of remission of cancer. But now, finally, a year later, I'm a black belt world champion. My dad beat cancer, and we're here. So it's a huge blessing, you know. But it was a very challenging year for us, for our family. And
How big of a motivation was that after going through everything you went through last year to come and compete at the World's No Gi in 2023?
man, it was amazing. You know, it was a blessing. I think throughout that process, I got so much closer to God. You know, I was always a very dedicated Christian, you know, but I tried to on that time I relied everything on God, you know. So I had a lot of faith, you know. I was since then I talked to my dad every single day since my dad's episode, right? I talk to him every single day. I always find some time in my day to call him, to talk to him, because that made me value life and the people we love, you know. So
So,
pretty much.
Andressa, obviously this was a challenging time for you too, especially last year when Lucas was in Brazil trying to coach you from there through FaceTime, which is crazy. How difficult was it for you to go through all that and to compete in 2022 last year at the World's No Gi?
It was really difficult because me and Lucas we do everything together. So not having him here, it kind of my security, like my, you know, it go away. Like my, he for sure is like a rock for our family, for me. He gives me so much strength, and having me on my side, I feel like unstoppable. But not having him, it was a challenge for me. But for sure, I was more worried about his dad condition than anything else. And one thing that Lucas didn't say on this episode is that while he was there with his dad, he is also a nutritionist, right?
Yeah.
So he changed all the foods from the hospital. He wouldn't allow the food from the hospital to get into his dad's mouth. He would take food from outside, the best quality foods that he could ever find, like even some foods that the doctor didn't know, that was like, oh, that's amazing. Where did you find that? They would ask him, because he's always looking for, like, okay, he needs more protein, he needs more that. He made a whole course about the how to have nutrition
Nutrition for
for
cancer.
cancer. He did the whole course just to learn how to prevent cancer in the future. So he really learned every single step to help his dad. And they couldn't believe how fast his dad was recovering. It was literally a miracle. But for sure, this, like, I understand that Lucas had to go to save his dad's life. And that was what was on the back of my mind this whole time. Like, and on that time last year, I didn't know too if I was going to compete. He was going to compete, and like for the last minutes, I decided to sign up because I had an injury. And the doctor said to me, he was like, okay, I think it's time for you to rest and do the surgery, Andressa. And I look at Lucas, kind of wanted to cry. And he was like, no, you can do this. Let's go to the physical therapy and you can do this. It was like maybe a week before he traveled, right?
Yeah.
So I sign up. I start of course I was already training, but I start focusing like on getting my injury uh together to not bother me whenever I was going to fight, right? So I went to Baggerson, my chiropractor. Him and Dr. Calvin work me every single day. they made me feel good again. Like I couldn't, I didn't know if I was going to fight because my injury was swelling. I didn't know that I could go. And Lucas told me, calm down, you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And suddenly he had to travel, and I had to go to my tournament no gi that I'm not used to fight no gi all the time. I'm more a gi fighter. So I had to go along to the challenge that he was the one that kind of told me that I could do it. So I was, of course, looking at flights all the time, like, oh, you might get here like in the same day if your dad gets better, but of course, your dad's a priority. But I'm gonna keep training, I'm gonna keep, I'm gonna trust that, like, it's not my number one game, but I know for sure, like, if he believes in me, I can do well. I didn't know that I was going there and like submit all my fights. I just believed that I
I
could.
knew it.
I just believed on him. Like he told me that I could do. Like, okay, I'm gonna believe that I can do it because usually when he tells me I can, I usually can. So when I went to the tournament, I had one student of ours, Cakes. He was there talking to me, talking to Lucas, like being the messenger, right? Or helping me warm up the way that he told me and everything. So before my matches on the final, he told me how I was going to submit her. That was like the best path, that like the game that she was going to do would fit perfect the knee bar, and it did. So I just gotta understand, okay, I gotta believe in Lucas's more because he really understands me. He really understands how I work. And on the end, I couldn't believe it. And after that, I was like, even uh, on my talking to the guys later, right? I don't remember if I was talking to you or with Corey, that you guys were interviewing me later, and I said that win, it wasn't for me, it was for Rogério, which is Lucas's dad, my dad in law, and it was for him, that medal, because I just wanted something that I do every day. That was jiu-jitsu. I just did jiu-jitsu, what I do every day. But he was in a battle that he deserved the medal more than I do. So I saved that world title for my dad-in-law, and he was really happy after it. Of course, he wanted his son to get his title too on the same year, but he was in another war more important, right? That was the war of life. And he won, he beat cancer. And then next year, Lucas became the world champion, just like we all dream. It was amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it's an absolutely amazing story. I'm so glad your dad's healthy, and for you guys to
Thank
overcome all of that and to have the results you had in 2023 is incredible. We talked about how you guys both won gold at the Brasileiros this year in the gi, but let's talk about the World's No Gi, the event that just happened. Lucas, we'll start with you. You had 5 fights, 3 submissions, submitted your first 3 fights. You looked absolutely unstoppable on, I believe it was Friday heading into Saturday. So tell me about those first 3 fights and what you felt like made it such a good performance for you.
Man, I think preparation, you know, and I really believe in my preparation, when once, I don't know, I think is like I'm obsessed about the process, the preparation. I didn't leave any stone unturned, and I talk a lot to my master, Draculino, when he the confidence that he gave me, it's priceless. And like I said, throughout the whole process, I've been so close to God, to on praying, reading the Bible, and committing to church and all of that, and of course, Andressa always helping me with everything, you know, and well, that's it.
Well, let's talk about your semifinal and your final too, because you faced two really, really tough competitors. Daniel Sattler was the semifinal. The final was DeAndre Corbe, who won Pan No-Gi last year. Really successful no-gi competitor, and those were a little bit closer matches. So tell me about the semifinal and the final matches.
Man, I think that that the closer you go, you know, I think things like when I say close, I mean like the deeper you're going to the tournament,
Yeah.
you know, things can start to be more strategic, you know. But well, this is, you know, I'm super happy, very grateful, but well, I wanted to submit all 5 fights.
Well, you beat some really tough opponents. 3 submissions out of 5 fights is still an incredible performance. And on the other side, you had Andressa watching her matches as well. She had 2 matches, 2 submissions. Yeah. Incredible performance. The first one was a heel hook victory, and the second one was the arm bar in the final. Let's start with the semifinal. Tell me about that heel hook victory. That was pretty quick into the match.
So I have been learning more about heel hooks and stuff after IBJJF allowed they allowed this rule, right? The ripping and heel hooks and everything. So I started studying that, started learning how to do it, how to defend it first, and then how to do it, because when you attack somebody's foot, you really expose yours. My heel hook defense got a lot better after Lucas started heel hooking the heck out of me. But like he did so much, he switches to one to the another, to one to another, but he forgot that he told me he taught me how to defend. So he taught me the basic defense, what I have to do from the heel hooks and everything. So when he goes for a heel hook, even though like when you go for heel hooking somebody, you expose your foot as well, you know. So I really don't try to heel hook him because I know he's better in like exchanging than me. But once he start going on I really focus on defending. So that's why he's telling that he can heel hook anybody besides me. Because when when he goes for people's leg, he gets really tight, and actually it's really scary because it looks like it's gonna break. And I'm the opposite. I get relaxed. So I kind of relax everything else. I don't try to hook him back. I just try to get out of there. So when he really tries it, I can escape in scrambles, you know. So sometimes he get frustrated with me that he can't hook me. But because
She escapes so well.
because I have like cold heart, you know, I can see my leg bending and like not freak out. So I think because of that, because I can defend really well, I can attack better too. So I'm not afraid if someone tries to hook me. So I really I know that when you go to engage in the legs, you expose yours too. But I really try to find ways where I can expose less my leg and try to expose the person's leg more, you know, if it is in a knee bar or heel hook or toe hold or straight ankle, you really will dictate the person's reaction. Like what I'm trying to do will dictate, like what I will do actually will dictate by whatever they give to me. Like Professor Jack tells us, the client is always right. Whatever they give you, you take it. So in this case, Luciana gave me the heel. So that's why I went for it.
Yeah, you had the knee bar finish in the final last year, the heel hook in the semifinal this year. And Lucas, you got out of a really tight heel hook. I believe that was in the final against DeAndre. So I can tell you guys have really been putting in the time, learning the leg attacks, both offensively and defensively. It was amazing.
Yeah,
thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, we really try to because every now that the rule it is allowing heel hooks, most people think it's just sitting back and getting the heel, but it's not. Right? There's so much technique involved, and we really spend the time studying it. Like we put ourselves in those situations for an example, what happened on Lucas's match on final, that he had Lucas's leg and Lucas had his leg. We were waiting for that. right? We wanted to like, okay, let's keep attacking because sometimes our attack is stronger than the person's, so they will let go before us, right? Because we have that flexibility that we really don't feel much leg attacks. Not that don't feel like we actually, I'm talking to myself. I can feel it. It takes longer, but I feel it. But it takes longer than a normal person. So on that second, that's when we escape, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, it was a beautiful submission in your semifinal, and it led to another beautiful submission in your final match. You took on 2021 double gold world Nogi champion Rafael Guedes. Amazing opponent. You got to tell me about the armbar because, like Lucas was saying before we started recording, it was a picture-perfect armbar. Set it up from the closed guard as Rafaela stood up, then you put her down on her back, finished the armbar. Tell me about that armbar and just how you were able to set it up and finish it.
I
Piece of art.
I love arm bars. I really like arm bars. It's something that I trained since like I was a blue belt. Is my favorite movement. Like since I was blue belt, I think it's because I practice so much that like even practice with my eyes closed. That is something natural to me. The arm bar, right? But of course, through the years, I have been developing this arm bar better, like making sure my hips are engaged the whole time, making sure I have the shoulder line, not only the arm to the elbow. Because if you see, we were studying later, and I had my legs really connected on her shoulder blade. That would, even though like one time after I made her fall, I lost the grip because she did this, like she started doing like the defense, right? But because my legs were so engaged and I had her shoulder blade, she couldn't move the arm out. So that's when I got the wrist, the right, the where the arm ends, right, the wrist, and she couldn't hold hands together to defend anymore.
Then, as I
So
was telling you before I start recording, if you pause, if you freeze the image of Andressa attacking, you're gonna see that it's a mechanically perfect armbar. You see every aspect that a technical armbar should have.
Yeah, it was
like,
incredible. Not only what was really impressive about it was the way that you were able to maintain the position for so long as Rafaela was trying to defend.
yes,
Yes,
that's what.
especially in nogi.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's what I was talking about because my legs gotta be really engaged. So my hamstrings gotta be engaged on the head, on the neck. My heel had to be like clawing down, flexing my calf, and also I was like monkeying on the tree, like holding my hands together with my whole body engaged. Right, that's why she couldn't get out because I focused everything engaging my body, because if I relax just a tiny bit, I know she's really explosive, she would escape. So I tried to keep everything really tight while I was there, and then to off balance her and make her fall to finish the armbar. So I really love arm bars. I think it's something that I love. Actually, I taught how to do exactly this detail that I did scooping the other leg on my DVD for BJJ Fanatics.
Yeah,
BJJ
so don't miss it.
Fanatics arm bar A to Z. So on that instructional, I teach exactly this movement when the person starts stacking you and you scoop under. But it is something that I do all the time, every day. I even, that's so funny because I even taught one of our students in the same week. I saw she goes all the time to the arm bars and she was getting stacked all the time, stacked. And I was like, oh, she could do that movement that I do all the time. And I told her at the same time she got it and she kept doing it. She kept doing it. And everybody that was training with her was getting arm bar on the same way. And then I go on the same week and finish on the finals like that. She was like so proud after. She was like, I remember you taught me this way.
Well, that was an absolutely incredible finish. The submission got you your second world Nogi title. So now you guys have both won major gi and Nogi titles. We're coming up on a new year here in 2024. Can you tell me about your plans to compete at the major gi tournaments and the major Nogi tournaments?
So the plan is to dominate.
Either one of them,
Yes.
gi or no gi, our plan is to dominate and submit everybody. Even though sometimes we cannot submit everybody, but we are always trying to.
Yeah, that's always the plan.
So do you have specific
That's-
tournaments you're planning to compete in already in 2024? Any of the major gi tournaments that are coming up?
Man, I think the main goal is gi worlds for sure. You know, and Brasileiros probably.
Yes, and we also open to super fights.
Yeah,
Right.
we want to do a lot of super fights this year too. Yeah, so for the super fights, our manager Vitor Doria is, you know, he's amazing at that. So we trust him. You know, it's an amazing relationship. So
Yeah, we know he's gonna find good matches for us next year. We're really excited. He's even like he even talked to us after our title. He was like, "I have good things for you next year for you both," and I was really amazed.
Yeah, I'm so excited to watch you guys compete in the major gi and no gi tournaments. It's going to be incredible. 2024 is going to be a great year. And I know you guys have a lot more coming up than just your competitions. So I believe Draculino School is moving in Texas to a new location in
yes,
Houston. We talked about that a bit before we started recording, but why don't you fill everyone in on that move and what the new facility is going to look like?
man. So it's a dream coming true. You know, Drac is literally building a castle. We are the headquarters of Gracie Barra in Texas. You know, and we've been trying to make that move from a bigger location for a long time, you know, but different things happen and obstacles and everything. But now it was literally built from the ground up. You know, it's supposed to mimic the Kodokan school in Japan. You know, so it's a state of art location. It's amazing. It's looking so beautiful. It's, you know, it's a dream coming true.
It's a world-class location with world-class structures. So we are really good now. In 2020, we just gonna keep growing and growing, even more than we did this year because we just counting blessings.
Yes.
Right, we're just counting blessings. And another thing that is one of our news, né, right, that we just started. We started a coffee company.
Yes, a specialty coffee company.
And it's us, me, Lucas, and his brother. So we, us three, we started a specialty coffee company online, where we source coffee from a lot of farmers from the world, only specialty coffees, and it's all like picked by hand. It's all you can. It's roasted to order too. The name is Lou D Coffee. Lou D, right? His name is Lou, and the middle name
Yeah,
D.
so
So it's Lou D Coffee.
my brother Mateus is the one running the show. You know, he's the one leading the company and everything. But
Yeah, we are the face of it, but he's the one behind it.
yeah, so it's been like so it's been what, 6 months now that we've been with the company. We didn't tell people that it was ours, right? We didn't want much connection, but then we decided to, and you know, it's going really well. It's something that we always wanted to have. You know, a specialty coffee company. It's something we're passionate about.
We're really passionate about everything about performance. Everything that will
Yes.
increase our performance, that is natural, that is true, that will be good for us in the long term. We want to invest, and we see that all those coffees, like they come with a piece of wood, they come with piece of insects. Like looking those stuff, like I don't wanna.
Yeah,
I'm really
people
worried
don't know,
about
but
the
that's
food. So
yeah.
like we worry about our coffee too. We want the best quality coffee.
Yeah, because we use as a pre-workout, you know, so we want to make sure that we have, you know, the best pre-workout that we can. So
So if
awesome.
people are looking for more information on Gracie Barra, their new projects for 2024 and your company, where can people go?
Yeah, so for people look for more information, you can find us at Gracie Barra TX on Instagram. Our website is graciebarratx.com, and all the updates going to be there, you know, and we're really looking forward to this. it's looking amazing. You know, Drac did an amazing job. You know, and for coffee, you can find it at ludecoffee.com. That's LUDE coffee.com.
Awesome. Well, you guys have had an absolutely amazing 2023. It's been a great year for both of you. So do you have anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap up the podcast?
No, just thank you all so much for taking the time. You know, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Danny, for always having this nice conversation with us. It is so cool to share a little bit of our story with everybody, but also like motivate some people that it's not an easy path, but if you work hard enough, you'll be worth it.
And have faith.
Yes, for sure, because that what leads the way, right?
Yes.
Without it, for me, it's impossible.
Yes, all glory to God.
Congrats again on all your success in 2023. We can't wait to watch you guys compete again in 2024. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you again soon for another episode of the IBJJF podcast.